Hi, this is Dick Bird. Still playing this game until a better one comes along. This is the Cold Harbor level, which gets no respect. And I thought I'd talk a little bit about how this level works. Yeah, what you'll hear about this level is that there is supposedly a bug with it. And what players generally mean by that is, well, let me explain how that works. See, this node you're looking at right here, this is at the top of the hill. This whole map is basically a kind of a king of the hill setup. You have to get, the main objective is to get up here to the top of the hill and take this node and hold it 60 seconds. If you hold this node 60 seconds, your opponent's core will take about 20 points of damage or so. Well, it's not quite as simple as that. See, if you pay real close attention to the horizon down there, down at the bottom of the hill, what you'll see is that's the general direction where the cores actually are. The cores are actually down there. You never see them in this level. You never personally shoot them. What happens is you hold this top node for 60 seconds. And in the course of those 60 seconds, a number of missiles get launched. And you can see them out there in the sky. They look like little, you can see the flares from their exhaust. And you can see them coming down towards where the cores are. And if you hold the node the full 60 seconds, all those missiles are going to strike the enemy core. And you'll get your 20 points or whatever it is. But the quirky thing is that if you only hold the node up there for, say, 30 seconds or 20 seconds or whatever, some of those missiles are still going to hit the enemy core. I mean, the rationale, I think, the reasoning there is that they've already been launched. You know, once they're launched, they're on their way. They're going. If you don't hold the node the full 60 seconds, you're not going to get the full 20 points or whatever it is. But if you hold that node for any length of time, you're going to get a certain amount of damage on the enemy core. You know, there'll be a delay because the missiles don't strike like right away. But yeah, basically once they're launched, they're going. You know, they're going to hit. So what you end up seeing is stuff where, you know, you're holding the node, or the enemy is holding the node for 20 or 30 seconds, and your side is down to like say 5 points, you know, and you work like a dog and you manage to take that top node back, you know, at the last minute, you think. And then you lose anyway because there's a missile on its way to your core already, and just taking that node isn't going to stop it from hitting your core and taking off those last points, and then you lose the match, you know, and then you get mad. And you're like, oh, this level has a bug in it. No, it doesn't have a bug in it. That's just the way it works. You hold that node, and the longer you hold that node, the more missiles get launched away, and once they're launched, they're going to hit. You just have to take that into account. You have to take that top node sooner. You know, you can't take it at the last minute and save yourself necessarily. You may. There's a certain amount of chance in it. These missiles, you know, these missiles, they're a little bit random. You know, if you don't hold the top node the full 60 seconds, you know, how many missiles might strike the enemy core? That's a little bit random. But chances are there's going to be at least a few. But you're just not going to see that effect until probably until several seconds after the core goes down. Anyway, that's the understanding I have about it. That's just based strictly on, you know, watching what happens during these games. I like it a lot. I think it's great. You know, I mean, it doesn't bother me. You know, I mean, it doesn't. You know, it just means that you can't necessarily expect to save the day at the last second just by taking that top node. It means you have to control that top node before that happens, you know? So you don't have to try to go for a last minute save. So anyway, that's that, yeah. And then you've got the underground nodes, which are also important. It's the same thing with a lot of these level, you know, there's like 2 or 3 or 4 objectives in parallel, and there's a primary objective, and then there's the secondary objectives, and oh, there you can see some of the missiles coming down, those kind of dots out there in the sky. And the secondary objectives kind of help you get the primaries, you know, like in this case, the side nodes, which are underground there, give you like some air vehicles and a couple of hellbenders that you can ride up in an elevator with. And if you have all these extra vehicles, it makes holding that top node a lot easier. But on the other hand, if you spend all your time trying to take those underground nodes, meanwhile, the enemy is holding the top node, and guess what? You're going to lose the match. So it's a little bit of a balancing act. You know, you have to look at what's going on and decide what it's most important to do. I mean, maybe your team doesn't have all those underground nodes. But if you're down like 20 or 40 points and the enemy has the top node, well, what's more important, you know? You can spend the next 2 or 3 minutes trying to get a hold of them, trying to get hold of one or the other of those bottom nodes, but in the meantime, the enemy's going to get another 20 or 30 or 40 points off your core, so you have to weigh all that and decide which way to go. And you kind of have to make that decision pretty quickly. And that's really what it's all about. And then once you make the decision, you have to actually, you know, try to find the best approach so you have some chance of accomplishing all this stuff without dying and having to go back and try again. That's really what the game is all about, you know. It's just looking at the map and deciding what you got to do in this situation. So yeah, this was a real nice match here. We were a little overmatched on this team. This team here lost a lot of matches. This is one of not too many that they won. I'm not really sure they deserve to win this one, but we kind of got our stuff together for this match. Managed to control the top a few times.
Attack the node.
Here.
Red core is secure. Attack the
node. I didn't consciously spend a whole lot of time trying to take the bottom nodes. I don't usually. I tend to concentrate on the top node, but some of the other team members had pitched in and taken the bottom node, so I took advantage of that to grab one of the vehicles down there to go after the objective that I think is most important, which is the top, of course. This is a Titan match. There was a Titan up here, but fortunately he was headed the other way and probably got killed somewhere over there because he didn't come back. And that enabled us to take this top node down. As you can see, the score is the seesaws a little bit throughout this match. We didn't win this by a whole lot. In fact, was this an overtime match? It might have been. We'll have to wait and see. This was a few days ago, so I don't really remember completely. But it wasn't easy at all, no. This is getting a little bit late in the match, and there's just Titans popping up everywhere. Of course, I haven't earned mine yet, but it's coming up here. I don't think I did real well with the Titan this time. Some of these people, you know, the Titans have been around long enough. Some of these people have gotten just pretty good at killing them. I mean, they're not that easy to kill, but you know, if you get yourself in a good position, you can do it without too much trouble. Oh yeah, this is a rare occasion, you know. 2 people got to the cicada at the same time, so we have a full complement. We've got a pilot and a secondary gunner. This vehicle is so much more effective with 2 people in it. The bottom, the secondary gunner has that kind of laser fire undercarriage gun there, which he just took out that nuke, which was about to kill us. He can also drop flares to divert avrils, because this, which is really good, because this vehicle is really vulnerable to avrils, even though it can take a lot of them before it goes down. But if you get a Raptor after you, that Raptor can just take you down really quick, unless you've got a secondary gunner in here to drop flares for you and to shoot back at the guy. Because these silly rockets that the pilot has are pretty much impossible to hit anything with, unless it's standing completely still. I don't really understand the secondary fire on these rockets. All they seem to do is load up a whole bunch of them, and it takes a long time to do it, and then fire them all at once in quick succession. I haven't really found a good use for that. It doesn't seem to involve any kind of targeting, no lock-on or anything like that, unless maybe I'm just too stupid to figure out. I should probably play with it, because it's got to be good for something. I mean, why would they put it in there? But I never use it. Mainly, I just use it to take down nodes. That's about all I can figure out to do with it. And I think this was a real nice run. We're getting towards the end of it. And this is the other great thing that this vehicle is good for, is that you can drive it along the ground and just basically run people over. Yep. It's a fun vehicle, and with two people in it, it's fairly effective. With one person, not so much. It's good for taking down nodes. And of course, the other great sport that this level is famous for is spawn killing. We only had one player, maybe one or two, maybe, that were getting into that on this level, and they weren't causing too much trouble.
10.
I think earlier I got a kill on a Titan that was spawn killing us with the use the Scorpion, took him down. It's always nice to be able to do that. It's a little hard to do. Here I wanted to use the elevator to go up to the top, but that elevator is already at the top, so I can't use it. And of course this one's just been taken.
I've got the ore.
Rear gunner bailed out, which is just as well, because I don't know. I don't like the rear gun on this vehicle. It's useful, probably, but I'm not very good at it, and I really hate it when people get into it when I'm driving, because I always feel like, why don't you get out and heal me, instead of twirling around on that back gun until we die. I mean, what are you doing back there? I don't know. I just wish they would, or they should get out and take the node that's sitting right next to them, I always get these people that get in that turret, and you're trying to hold prime or something, and the prime is down, and it's sitting there available, and they're sitting in that turret twirling around, and there's nothing to shoot at, and I'm just yelling at the screen like, get out! Get out and heal me, you fool! Take the node! Take the damn node! And of course they can't hear me, which is just as well, because I'm being a jerk, really. Oh, and here's my great Titan run. I got an assassin there, and took out the Hellbender, and then another Titan's going to show up on my left here, and that's going to be the end of my little score. Yep, so much for the Titan.
Defend the hilltop node.
I have the ore.
Of course, yeah, they're not too hard to kill with another Titan, of course. I mean, that's the best way to do it, but there's other ways to kill them. Oh, yeah, you always know, yeah, that's the other big thing on this level. There's always going to be somebody sitting on the roof of the enemy base, and he's going to be sniping, because you can do a lot of sniping from there.
Blue core is vulnerable.
Yeah. And there we go.
Double kill.
That didn't go as well as I hoped, because the node didn't go down, but you can't have everything. But yeah, this went pretty well. We weren't, it's going really badly when you can't spawn at your base without 4 or 5 people being right there to spawn kill you, and maybe 2 people on the roof across the way to snipe you if you manage to get past the first wave. That's when you know you're going down.
Blue core is secure.
As it is, we got this sort of semi under control. Although yeah, this was a time. Yeah, this was an overtime, I believe. Yeah, that's the only reason we won this, I think.
Destroyed.
So anyway, yeah, I like this map. I think it's a lot of fun. King of the Hill. That's what it's about. Yeah. Have a good evening.